Welcome to the Port of Bremerton Report. I'm Cary Bozeman, and I'm the former mayor of Bremerton, and just to remind everybody of that, but now I'm the CEO of the Port of Bremerton, and I've only been on the job for 3 months, but I love the job. I took it because I think it's an institution that's important. The role of the port is to create economic opportunity and bring new jobs to Kitsap County. And that's what we do. That's our mission. I love economic development. I thought this would be a great challenge, and I'm excited to be on the job and represent the citizens of our district, which is the Port of Bremerton, which is a pretty large district. It actually encompasses almost a lot of Kitsap County and goes all the way up to Seaback and down to Olalla and west. So it's a pretty big district. And just so everybody knows, the port is made up of 3 businesses. We have a marina, two large marinas, one in Bremerton and one in Port Orchard. We house about our slips provided for about 700 boats that push economic development up into the cities of Bremerton and Port Orchard. Boat owners are people that spend money. We have an airport that's very active. It has a long runway. It's about 6,000 feet long, and we can land and take off pretty good sized jets. We can't land the big jumbos, but we can land and take off almost anything below that. We have close to 200 airplanes that house themselves at our airport. Most of them are owned by individuals in this community that like to fly in and out. We have, I think, 3 nice jets that are housed at our airport. I know yesterday I watched a big Gulfstream, fancy jet come in, and it belonged to Costco, and I watched the president of Costco get off of the plane. Wow. Jim Senegal. And then we have a big industrial park where we have lots of companies that house themselves out in our industrial park. Safe Boats is our most famous company, and they employ about 350 people, good family wage jobs. We're trying to recruit new people to our industrial park. So the port's about bringing jobs and economic opportunity. We're the only organization who really is a government organization with that mission, and we've got lots of room to grow and get better. So what I've done is brought you today a list of the priorities that I've established. Now, I've only been there 3 weeks, so these might change. They might be a little fluid, but by and large, we've had a retreat with our commissioners and our key staff, and we've kind of landed on some things we want to get done in the very near future. And the first one, and then I'll let you run down the list with me, Char. Char and I go way back. She used to interview me when I was the mayor, but the first one's obviously the budget, and to stabilize the budget of the port. And we're not a big organization. We're about $7 million operating fund. About half our funds come from property tax, and about half come from the revenues we take in our businesses. We hope to be able to lower the property tax in the next few years and increase the revenues on our business. So the number one priority is always to balance the budget and to bring stability to the finances of the port. And we're going to get that done. We have a great CFO, Becky Newton, I know it's Becky, is just terrific. And it's doing a great job of managing our finances. So managing the budget, trying to lower the property tax in the next few years are really the primary, always number one goal at the port. So, and after that, we've established a bunch of things. So let's talk about them.
Good. How about your 3-year action plan? I know these priorities are really important, and having a plan is very important to you.
Well, when I was at the city, as you know, Char, we developed a 5-year plan that turned into a 6. And this, I wanted to shorten the time frame on this one because we got a lot to do and we don't want to string it out too long. So this is a 36-month action plan, and what that means is we're going to get all these things done hopefully in the next 36 months. And I'm excited about it. This is a real challenge for me and for my staff, but you know, we're in a down economy. We're in a recession here. We need new jobs. We need to attract new companies to this community so we can diversify ourselves away from the military here. So we've got a big job ahead of us, and we're looking at talking to Boeing, we're looking at talking to Microsoft, we're looking at talking to Paul Allen, we're looking at bringing private family wage jobs to Kitsap County in the next 36 months. That's our mission, and that's what we're going to do. And so stay tuned for some big announcements, because there will be some.
Excellent. Well, one thing you're doing today is improving communication with the citizens in your district, and I know you've recently made a new hire at the port. Tell us about that.
Well, that's priority number 1 and 2. You mix them up. But the Port of Bremerton is a tax-supported institution, and we owe it to the people that pay taxes to the port to communicate with them. We had a problem about 2 years ago when the Port Act passed a tax increase on our taxpayers. The newspaper was actually there and didn't write a story on it, and the port, to be honest, didn't do a very good job of communicating it to the citizens. There was a big backlash, and still is, from citizens who said, you're not being very transparent, you're not telling us what you're doing, and we're not very happy. We realized that, and I will pledge to you as a CEO that we will be the most transparent and the most communicative government in this state in the next 3 years. And we've just hired Scott Ware, who was the editor of the Kitsap Sun for 10 years. And Scott's just a brilliant guy when it comes to communication, and he's advising me on how we can best communicate. As a matter of fact, today he handed me a 10-step action plan on building public trust. And we're going to be outreaching to the public. We're going to be doing what I call Port 101 workshops, where we're going out to various, and we'll be announcing these locations in the near future. Hopefully you guys will be there to film them. I think we'll do our first one in Seebeck, and then we'll be going to Olalla, and then we'll go to Bremerton. But we're going to bring the whole staff out there. We're going to bring one of the commissioners out there, and we'll give presentations on what the port's up to, what we're doing, and then we'll open it up for questions. We want to engage our critics, and we have critics. We want to talk to them. We want to hear what they don't like or what they like. And we're going to spend a lot of time, and I personally will spend a lot of time trying to rebuild the public trust that the people have. Ports are good things. We have 4 things that we can do. Some of them, some ports, there are 4 elements to a port. They manage the maritime, you know, like the Port of Seattle does, where they bring the big ships in. Now, we don't have a Port of Seattle kind of operation. They also can have airports, they can have industrial parks, and they can have marinas. So we have 3 of the 4. So we're going to be working hard at doing the public trust, gaining back the public trust.
What is a Stramp? The next thing on your goals priorities is build the Stramp.
You don't know what a Stramp is?
I don't know what a Stramp is.
Really? Seriously? Well, no one else does either. So a Stramp is a ramp and a staircase, and we need to build one down at the Bremerton Marina. We're building one to connect us to this property we just bought next to the condominiums, where we have that vacant lot there. We just bought that lot. It's just north of the Hampton Hotel.
Yes.
We now own that property. And in the future, we're going to develop a big project there. Probably maybe another hotel, maybe a condominium. We're not going to develop it ourselves. We're going to look for developers to do it and put the money in. But in the meantime, we needed to secure that land to provide parking for the people who lease in our marina.
Oh,
we didn't have enough parking. So we have 40 parking spaces up there now, and we're going to use about 30 of them for the marina, and then we're going to lease the rest out. So we're going to build a stairwell from the marina up alongside where the property goes, and then up to the property. So our boaters will be able to walk up, unload their cart, and walk down. So we're building a Stramp, and again, our good Congressman Norm Dix helped us get the money. It's about a $400,000 project, and he got the money for us last year for this, and we're going to hopefully be in design relatively soon. I'm hoping we get this done before the end of the year. And it'll be a nice walkway for the citizens too, because I don't know if you know, but there's a walkway in front of those condominiums down there. This will connect to that walkway.
Oh, very good.
So you can walk from the, from the marina and the breakwater up the ramp, up the Stramp, and then connect back downtown. So yeah, it's a project we're going to get done hopefully in the next 6-8 months.
So does that one tie into the next point that says you want to find investment partners for your
Yeah.
Washington Avenue property?
Yeah, we bought the property, but we hope to make a profit off of this. But what we hope to do is find investors who we'll sell the air rights to, and they'll put a nice development in downtown. It'll create jobs. It'll create a workplace for people to work. You know, we're hoping that companies will want to move in down there in our building. My guess is it'll be a multi-purpose building. It'll have some retail in it. It'll have office space in it, and it'll have maybe people living in it, apartments. So we're starting to talk to people. It's a prime piece of real estate. It's right between the Hampton and the Harborside condominium. So it's one of the best pieces of real estate in the state. It's right on the water. And so we'll be looking for investors. I've already been talking to Opus Development, and I've talked to people in Tacoma, and there's a lot of interest in going in with us to develop that property. And the purpose of it will be to create jobs and retail and to create commerce. So that's our mission. That's what we do.
Right.
So we're in the development business. As long as it can lead to new jobs and new commerce and new retail sales and giving people a chance to work. So that, yeah, we'll be looking to develop that. I'm hoping within the next 36 months that we've got a plan, we've got a way to implement it, we've got investors, we've got the package ready to roll out.
Let's talk about leasing out the business park building.
Right. We've got a business park, and we built a spec building ourselves about 2 years ago. We built it in a partnership with a private person, but we have a responsibility for leasing it, and we haven't been able to lease it yet. We've had a lot of interest in it, and it's costing us money at the time because we're actually paying the developer, and it's a cash flow problem for us, and we need to get it leased out. We've talked to Electric Boat, who might be interested, which would be a great company. We've talked to Safe Boat about it. We've talked to a number of companies, and I feel pretty strongly in the next 90 days we'll have part of it leased out, if not all of it leased out. So you know, we're paying lease payments on a vacant building, and I don't like that. So we've got to move
Right.
and get this thing leased out.
Right.
So that's a challenge for us. So it's on the list.
And you also want to lease out all of the Bremerton and Marina.
Yeah.
You want it all.
Yeah, we're a little behind schedule on our lease out calendar. We had hoped to lease out the whole marina in 3 years. We're into our second year now. We're a little bit, about 50% leased out. The economy's hurt us, to be honest with you. People aren't buying boats in this economy. We don't get an influx of new boaters. But we're going to advertise more. We're going to market more. I think building getting the ground to find the parking, which was a problem for us because our boaters want that parking right next to that marina. So we're going to step on the gas on this one a little bit and try to get that marina filled in the next 12, 14 months. You know, we can't help what's going on in the economy, and you know, houses aren't selling and boats aren't selling. Big ticket items are not selling.
Right.
So we're a little bit at the mercy of a bad economy right now, but we'll get it leased out. You know, we're 95% leased out in our Port Orchard Marina, 96 I think, and we'll be 95% leased out here in a short period of time.
Shouldn't there be some empty spots though, Cary,
Yeah, we have
for
100
weekenders?
Yeah, we keep out 100 slips for day leasing, we call it.
Okay.
And like this last weekend over the holidays, we were full, and we charge a little bit more for those slips, and those people bring a lot of economic activity to those towns, so those are good deals. So both of our marinas have, I think, close to 200 day slips where people call in and they come over for the day and they go up to the restaurants, or they go to Anthony's, or they go to Amy's by the bay, and they shop, and they you know, they spend money. So it's a good thing. And so yeah, we've got 100 slips, and we're going to maintain those 100 slips. You know, like coming up would be Blackberry Festival, and our marina will be packed on jammed on Blackberry Festival.
That's great.
Yeah.
Tell us about the Cross-SKIA connector.
Well, you know, SKIA has now been annexed in the city of Bremerton, and it's the big economic opportunity for the city of Bremerton, because someday that's 3,000 acres that sits out adjoining the airport. the Bremerton Airport. And what we're looking for is major employers and developers. I've got a meeting set up with Boeing to talk to Boeing and see if they ever going to build, another plant. We'd, be interested in them building it in SKIA. SKIA was the location where the infamous NASCAR track was going to go, and that's gone away. So what we need out there is infrastructure, streets, roads, sewer in the near future. So this was stimulus money that we got, $3 million that we got in stimulus money that will go to connect some of those properties to the highway. So it's going to, it'll open up some of that SKIA area for future development. So it's a good thing, and I think we'll be under construction relatively soon. So we got the money, and we're doing the planning. I think we're in the permitting process at the moment, and I think we'll be able to move forward pretty quickly. So.
I don't know if our citizens know this next topic, but the port has space in the Norm Dix Center. And it appears you want to get out of there.
Well, we made a commitment to the Norm Dix Center when they were putting the whole package together, because we felt like the Norm Dix Center was important for the community. There were going to be a lot of jobs housed in the Norm Dix Center. We thought it was good for the future of the city, and we were asked to participate. Not in a big way. We have 4 office spaces there that we own.
Close to Norm's space, close to Norm Dix.
Yeah, on the 5th floor, right under my old office when I was mayor. And we don't really need them right now. And they were previously leased by the Kitsap Consolidated Housing Authority from us.
Oh.
And so they don't need them anymore. So we've contracted with a commercial realtor to try to get those spaces leased out. We will maintain one Port of Bremerton office space in the Norm Dix Center, but we've got 4 offices in there now. We just need one, and we've got a little meeting room. So we've got easy access to Norm Dix when he's in town, and to bring developers over who just want to walk off the ferry, we can meet them in the Norm Dix Center. So we'll maintain one office space there, and our commissioners, when they have a meeting downtown, they can meet down there with people. So. It's a good thing, but we're going to lease out the rest of that space. It's a cash flow problem for us right now.
And the next topic is your adequately fund your reserves.
Right. Just like when we were at the city, you need to have reserves for that rainy day. And we're in the middle of a rainy day right now, as we all know, because incomes are down, sales tax is down, all those kind of things are down. So, but you always want to maintain a good cash reserve. And I would say that we're not where we need to be in terms of our cash reserves. Now, you don't want to maintain too much, because people are paying taxes and they don't need you to just be banking their money. But, in case there was a catastrophic problem, you would be able to keep the doors open and keep people on the payroll. So we're going to work on the next couple of years to restore the cash reserves of the organization, and to make sure that we're always operating fiduciarily responsible, try saying that, and maintaining a good, stable budget. And we've got good people, and I'm a pretty conservative, I'm pretty conservative about running my organizations in terms of trying not to get in financial trouble. The public doesn't want that. They expect better of you, and that's what we're going to do. So, yep.
Cary, tell us about the staff at the port. How many folks are employed with the port, and how many are in the admin office?
Yeah, it's funny. We're a middle-sized port. We're not a big port. The 2 big ports in the state are obviously Tacoma and Seattle. And then there's some what we call the larger ports, and there's 5 or 6 of those. There's Bellingham, which has a big airport and flies commercial jets in and out of there. Let's see, Longview has a pretty good sized port. Aberdeen, Hoquiam, Grays Harbor has a good sized port because they bring a lot of big ships and lumber in there and all that kind of thing. Everett has a pretty good sized port. We're kind of right in the middle in terms of our total revenues. We're about a $10 million operation, so we're kind of like one of the smaller ports. We have 38 employees. About half of our employees are in the maintenance and maintaining our facility business. We only have, I think, we have 5 directors. We have someone that runs our Marina operation. We have someone that runs our airport operation. We have someone that runs our industrial park operation, and we have a finance director, and then we have myself. So there's 5 of us, and then lots of support staff, not a lot, but a few support staff in the finance department, and then most of the rest of our people are in, because we have a lot of facility, we own a lot of land, we own a lot of buildings, so about half of those 35 people or more maybe are in the maintaining our electrical systems and all our operation and so forth. So we're not big. We're our general operating fund, I mean at the city our general operating fund was about 45 million. Our general operating fund's only about 6 million. So, you know, I went from managing 450 people to 40, which is some ways good and some ways not as good. You know, we don't have as much. We're a lean machine, so to speak, and you know that's a good thing, I guess. That's a good thing.
But the port is a huge player in our city, within the city of Bremerton, and really the whole county.
Well, I think the future economic well-being of the city of Bremerton is going to be dependent on our ability to bring new business to the city limits of Bremerton. And I want to talk on one more issue, and that's our effort to operate around sustaining the environment. It's been known in our operation as the SEED project, but I don't want to refer to that anymore. We're living in a world today where environmental sustainability is a huge issue. And the port's going to get very active in being environmentally correct in the way we run our own operations and not be burning too much gas or burning too much electricity or figuring out ways to be better stewards of the environment. B, we're going to try to attract jobs that have something to do, whether or not it's people that build windmills or people that do solar panels or people that, you know, that sort of thing. We're going to try to be the kind of company that can attract. Now, there had been a plan at the port to build an incubator building that could be used by startup companies that were interested in doing projects that were good for the environment, like building a small electric car or those kind of things. My analysis in coming to the port is that the building is currently very expensive, and the port really can't afford to build the building at this moment because of cash issues and the economy being what it is today. If you remember, this building was planned 5 years ago when the economy was a lot different. So I am going to be making a recommendation to the port commissioners in the next 2 weeks about where to go with that. But the issue of sustainable environment will be a major part of our culture at the port. We will be a leader in sustainability. We don't want to be bad stewards of the land. So this whole issue will be ingrained in our culture and what we do, and we're hoping to attract some people with companies that, you know, are making direct contribution to this issue. So, you know, we're working on it.
Great. Let's talk a little bit about your other important priorities. And I see on this list you would like to analyze motorsports park relationship.
Yeah. You know, I didn't realize the amount of activity that goes on our old airfield out there in the motorsports issue. And, you know, there's weekends, that place is hopping.
It's hopping.
And there's a lot to do out there. And I know since NASCAR went away, this group has always thought about building a motorsports complex, but they haven't been able to get the money yet. So we're going to work with them in the next couple of years and try to figure that out. It's a popular deal. It gets a lot of people out there. We're going to see how we can make it better. It's a popular activity in our community.
So where they race belongs to the port? They
yeah, it's on our property.
Spot?
Yeah, we work with them, and lots of people out there.
They're
having a lot of fun. So it's an activity that we like. It's an activity that we support, but we want to see how we can make it better. You know.
I know you love the flowers, you love beautification, so we're anxious to hear if you've got some flowers and beautifying your space out there.
We planted new flowers around our signage yesterday. My guys are all over it. I'm all over it. You know, I just think that public property ought to look good. It ought to feel good. It ought to make people happy, and flowers are a good way to do it. And to be honest with you, our facilities are pretty tired. The port was built back in the, gosh, I don't know, maybe the 50s. Our buildings are pretty tired. The old, we got an old cafe out there that's been there a long time that people love, because apparently we have the best fish and chips in the county.
That's what I've heard.
And we've actually got people fly in to have these fish and chips, but our building's old and our terminal's old, and so we're going to do a master plan on redeveloping that whole site. But in the meantime, we are watering our grass, we're mowing our grass, and we've planted, you'd be proud, we planted a bunch of flowers, and we fixed up our beds, and we're looking good right now, actually. We're looking good.
I know that's important to you. I want to congratulate you on your first Port of Bremerton report, and we look forward to working with you in the future, and I'll let you go ahead and close out.
Thank you, Char. This is the first of my CEO reports to the community. I'll be doing one every month. We'll be sending out newsletters to you. We're going to do a great job of communicating with citizens, and hopefully during this process you'll learn to value what we do, and that is our mission is to bring new jobs and economic opportunity to the people that live here and want to work here. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you next time on the CEO Report.